Hey guys, before we start this video, I want to tell you guys that I'm going to be at 1UP in Denver, Colorado. That's right, 1UP. It's a barcade. It's a freaking awesome barcade. I'm going to be there Saturday, January 17th, 2015. I'm checking my calendar to make sure that's really the date. But I'm going to be there January 17th, 2015 at 1UP Lodo, which is like lower downtown, in Denver, Colorado. And it starts at 3 o'clock. And it's basically just a hangout, okay? And this is a barcade. You got to be 21. So if you guys are in the Denver area, head out to 1UP in Denver, Colorado, January 17th, 2015, starting at 3 p.m. I had this information on arcadeoutsiders.com, my Google Plus page, etc. All right, let's get into this video. Hey guys, we are in the basement, and today we're gonna do a John's Arcade tech video. That is right, guys. You know what? Actually, I was wondering, what should we do today? You know, it's been a week since I released a video, and I've kind of been avoiding the basement in a way, and I don't know why. It's been nice having a little bit of time off, but we're back down here, and we gotta get back to work. I mean, that's the main thing here, because the last few weeks, I just haven't done anything really productive down here at all. I mean, nothing productive. I've been screwing around. I've played some games. I've been playing Xbox upstairs. I watched movies the last 2 days like a madman. I don't know why, but I just haven't been feeling very energetic, I guess. So we're gonna change it in this video. We need to get back to work. And so I got a bunch of things that are broken down here. And I also was also thinking about doing the Donkey Kong gameplay video today, because I know a lot of you guys have been requesting that I do part number 3, because I'm trying to get 300,000 points at Donkey Kong. But I'm a little worried that if I do too many of those videos, it's too much of the same thing over and over again. So I'm gonna space those out on purpose, because I don't want to keep uploading that video, the same video over and over again. I think that we'd all get burned out on it. But I think we'll do one after this. But anyway, today though, I thought I should get back to work. We need to fix some stuff down here because I got some issues. Well, the 720's down over there. The monitor has some issues. We got to fix that. The Tempest is acting up. Actually, right now it's fine. I think it's got actually vertical collapse. And I believe one of the frame transistors, maybe there's a short or something. So I need to go on there, because I replaced those not too long ago. And right now the monitor is collapsing occasionally. If I go up to the monitor and just kind of tap it, it fixes it. So I think there's just some kind of short. And then also my Revenge for Mars is acting goofy, because every time you turn it on, it spits all the balls out. And I know what it is. And I think we're gonna fix that in this video. And so why don't we just get right into it. And then also at the end of this video, I'm gonna do viewer mails and also a little show and tell. I got a gift, a little gift box from Germany that I thought would be fun to kind of look at. So from German Game Room. So anyway, all right, let's get to work here on the Revenge from Mars. Let's talk about what's going on here. So the Revenge from Mars right now is working just fine, really. The game plays 100%. However, something is not right, okay? When I turn the game on, it spits all of the balls out, and it's been driving me actually crazy. It also does it when you open the coin door and close it, because when you open the coin door and close it, it removes the high power voltage from the coils, and then when you close it, it kind of resets that. And so it's almost like, in a way, like how the game is when you turn it off and then on. So if I were to open this coin door, okay, you can see here it says, coin door is open, coils and flashers are disabled. Now if we close this, watch what happens. Hear that? It's starting to spit all the balls out. See that? And it's doing that all on its own. And it does it every time I turn the game on. And it spits them out about 5 times. And then eventually it finds all the balls and it stops, okay? And by the way, this is a Pinball 2000 machine. This is Revenge from Mars. The hardware, as far as flippers and optos, are very similar, if not identical, to all the WPC stuff. And that's the 90s era Bally Williams, just like the NBA Fast Break here. So in the trough here, there's a trough that holds all the balls, okay? There are optos, which are little I think infrared or like LEDs, you know, kind of like laser tag or a garage door opener. And there's basically a receiver and an emitter, okay? And when the ball's in between them, it knows the ball is there because you're breaking the signal, okay? Just like your garage door. And so if you have a bad opto, it can't read anything. It doesn't know what's happening, and I think that's what's happening here. And actually, I did verify it, so let me just kind of show you guys how I did verify it. The first thing we need to do, though, is we need to put this game on test. And again, this is a Pinball 2000, so it has the test screen on the CRT. And what's going to happen, though, is once we remove the glass, we're not going to be able to see it. So we're going to have to just listen for the switch test. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So let me put it in test. Now in a WPC game, you would just put it in test. Because what we're going to do in this video, you can apply pretty much to any pinball machine that has optos, you know. And that's pretty much all the 90s forward games. And they use the optos everywhere. Like instead of having a mechanical switch, they would use these opto switches, which again are just LEDs, you know, a receiver and a emitter. Anyway, so on the Revenge from Mars, we need to put it into test. We're going to put it into switch test, okay? And we're going to go into diagnostics and then switch test, okay? And that's the switch test. And every time you hit a switch, it's going to make a noise. Listen. Do you hear that? So I'm pressing the slam switch right now, and it's going off. Okay, so that's how it sounds when a good switch is activated, okay? And again, Bally Midway, you know, I mean, Bally Williams, on NBA Fast Break, they have a switch test. My System 11 Whirlwind has a switch test. So you can put these games in switch tests, and then you can go through each switch to see which one is working or not working. So now we're going to have to remove the glass, and when we do on the Revenge from Mars, we're going to lose our screen back there because there's actually a monitor up top, and it's projecting the image onto this glass because this is special playfield glass that's like half silvered, but that's okay. We can hear the switch test. We don't necessarily need to see it on the screen. So I'm removing the glass, and by the way, I removed the breaking bar. I remember when I first got my pinball machine, I could not understand. I just didn't understand at all how to remove the playfield glass, and this is how you do it right here. This is a lock bar right here, and they all have it. You can see, you know, NBA Fast Break, Whirlwind, they both have, you know, lock bars, okay? And what you do is you open the coin door, okay, and there is a lock bar here, okay? And you just gotta kind of pull it to the center, and then this thing pops off, okay? And now we can slide our playfield glass off. Now I need to be very careful here because this playfield glass is very special. Again, it's got a half silvered coating on it, so it's almost like a mirror and a glass at the same time. And so I need to be extra careful here because if we break this, I am screwed. This is not the kind of thing you can just go out and buy. Okay, so here is, I got the game on because we want to use the switch test, okay? And so right now I want to lift up the playfield, and this is not going to be very easy to show. I'm wondering if I should remove this shroud. I'm wondering how hard that would be. Is it just two nuts right there? I think it is, actually. Let's see. Anyway, let's lift up the playfield. And the balls right now are in. And that's okay because on these WPC games, they have a little catch. But I'm going to go ahead and kick the balls out. Okay? And I'm just manually exercising the coil here. And we're getting all the balls. There's 4 balls in this game. Okay. All right, so we've got all the balls out. All right, so let's come up here. And let's take a look. Okay, you hear the switch test going off. Now, I got to figure out what's the best way to show you guys this. You can see I have the playfield up in the air. And so let me, let's lower the playfield a little bit. There we go. We can get right up on the optos right over here. Okay. Okay, so here are our opto boards. There's 2 of them. One's the receiver, one's the emitter, okay? And each one has 5 optos, okay? So this is one board right here, and then the other board is on the other side. Okay, I've already tried reseating these. It didn't fix it, okay? Now, there are 5 optos on these. 1 for each ball, because this is a 4-ball game. And then there's a fifth opto that is on the top here, and it's labeled jam, okay? And this is gonna be kind of tough to show you guys, but if I take my screwdriver here, okay, let's see if I can come in here. So if I were to take my screwdriver and just kind of stick it in here, I can make the optos go off. Hear that? Okay, so that opto's working. And then there's another one right here. That's 2, 3, there's 4. Okay, so all 4 of those bottom optos are working. I was able to make each one go off with my screwdriver. I'm basically using the screwdriver to break the plane, right? Because again, it's like infrared, like your garage door opener. And so I'm using the screwdriver to just come through across here and making all 4 of the bottom ones go off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you guys hear the beeping sound? Now there's another opto up here that's labeled jam, okay? And that opto is basically designed that if there's a jam, okay, because right here, this is the kick out for the ball. So when the ball, when the game wants to launch a ball into the trough, this coil here fires, okay? And so you're gonna have the balls lined up in the trough, 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing fires, the ball comes out and it goes into the shooting rail. And then above ball number 1, there's another opto right here called jam. Okay, and that opto basically is designed to detect a jam. So if there's 2 balls stuck in the eject lane, that jam opto is gonna find that. And if I come here with my screwdriver and I try to break the plane on the jam opto, nothing happens. It's not detecting it, okay? The jam opto's right here. I know this is really tough to show you guys. Let me show you. See how it's labeled jam right there? Get focus. Right there, you see that? It says LED 1 jam, okay? So on the other side of that is the opto, and on the other side of the other board is the receiving opto. So if I take my screwdriver here and I try to make that jam opto go off, I can't. If I go down, I can make the ball 1 opto go off. You see that? There's a ball 1 opto right here and a jam opto above it. So that jam opto is bad, okay? That's why the game is kicking all the balls out, okay? So we verified that opto 1, 2, 3, and 4 for ball 1, 2, 3, and 4 are working, but the jam opto we verified is not being detected if you try to break the plane with a screwdriver. So we need to replace those optos, and it's actually pretty simple to do. So I'm gonna turn the game off. Is this making sense? I'm trying my best to show you guys what's going on here. So we need to pull off the boards. I'm gonna replace both the receiving and the emitting one. So we've got a screw here and a screw here. Now on the other side though, that's not gonna be easy to get to. I almost need to pull this whole trough off. Oh boy. I don't see any other way to do this. So we're gonna have to take off. It looks like we're gonna have to take off this this shroud here, which is being held on weird. We've got a screw here, a screw here. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take off. Boy, this is gonna suck. So I gotta take off this piece up here, this top plastic piece, because we're gonna have to pull the whole trough off. Because there's no other way to get to the other opto board back here. That's okay. This won't be too bad. It's just going to be a bunch of screws. So let's start taking this apron. I think this is technically called an apron, the top plastic part. Okay, so we got to take the apron off, which is this. And let's see, we've got 2 screws here. We haven't really done any pinball tech videos, have we? You know, I have to tell you, I've been pretty lucky in general with pinball machines. I haven't had to do a ton of work on these, and I've just been very fortunate. I've done some work, but not like I've had to do on video games. It seems like when I get a pinball machine and I get the kinks out, they usually kind of stay that way for a while, knock on wood. And I really don't have too many parts fail like the optos here. Okay, so let's come up here And I believe we need to now take off these 2 screws. So this one. No, the Journey song hasn't gotten old yet. You'd think it would. Okay, so now we can get that off. Okay. So that part is off. Okay, so now to get the trough off, let's see here. What's holding it on? We've got, it looks like maybe these guys. I gotta take a look at this here. It's also a good time to maybe clean up this area and replace any bulbs while I have this off. Actually, it looks pretty nice. All right, so let me pull the playfield up again. All right, so to get the trough off, we've got a screw there. Oh wow, dude, this flipper is missing a screw. Look at that. That's bad news. Huh. I just discovered something right here. This flipper right here, the screws fell out. It's just hanging there by a thread. So we're gonna fix that too while we got this off. Wow, that's crazy, man. It's missing 3 screws. How the hell did that happen? I wonder if they're in the bottom of the game. Huh. All right, we'll fix that, no problem. All right, so first things first though, let's get the trough off. And I'm trying to identify how to do that. I've got a screw here. And then some screws from the top. There's 4 of them. Okay, so why don't we get the top ones first? Okay. So we've got one right here. And we have one right here. And let's see. There's one over here. And that one's on that side. And then there's one right here. And this should be the last one right here. And yes, the game is off right now. Okay, that one had a washer on it. All right, let's take a look underneath now. See how this looks. Looks like we got two more screws to get. And they're down here. So I gotta get these 2 screws right here. Right there. And I don't know if this thing's gonna fall off, so we gotta be careful. Okay. So I'm gonna put my hand on the trough because this is one of the last screws. There's one more screw in the bottom. Oh shit, that washer just flew. Hang on a second. Okay. And we should really just have one more screw here on the bottom, and this whole thing should fall off. So let's kind of come up here, and we've got 1 screw left,
Dragon's Lair,
which is this one, and that should be it. Now I gotta be careful though, because we got all these wires.
You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has insanity.
Okay, so we need to disconnect. Boy, I should get my camera. I need to document this.
Below the castle, your odyssey
Yeah, hang on. Let me get my camera, my phone. Okay, I'm just gonna take my my phone here and just snap some photos of this because I want to make sure that I put this back together the same way I'm taking it apart. And so I'm just gonna come down here
On your mark.
and just take some photos of the wiring just to make sure I get the Molexes in the same spots. And so there's 2 wires going to the coil. Okay. These only go on one way, but the black and gray one's here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just disconnect these little headers. 1, 2. Okay, and then there's 2 wires, little crimp connectors going to this coil. And I'm just going to carefully, and we got this whole thing. Okay. And then so here's the whole trough assembly right here. So let's pull these off. These go to the coil here. Okay, that's it. We have the trough off. So let's go to the bench here and let's get to work on this thing. All right, guys, we have the trough assembly on the bench here. Now, again, these right here are opto boards. We've got one here and one here. Now, I do want to tell you something, though. I already reflowed the solder on this. Actually, I reflowed the solder on what I could get to, okay, while it was in the game, and because I thought maybe there was a cold solder joint, which is why the opto wasn't working. And I was only able to reflow the solder on one board. I couldn't get to the other one, okay? So it is entirely possible that we're replacing a good opto because the problem was maybe on the other side and it was a solder joint. But you know what? The optos are really cheap, and I think if you're going to pull this thing out, you might as well just replace them. By the way, my friend Brian, Wicked Bass, he gave me these, Wicked Bass, he gave me the optos. These are the optos right here. Because I was going to fix it at my party, and he came over and brought those for me, and I didn't do it at the party. It was just too much. So we're going to do it today. And so we're going to just go ahead and remove these boards one at a time. And there's just 3 screws holding them on. And what we're going to do is we're going to reflow the solder and replace each of the jam optos, the receiver and the emitter. So after you take those 3 screws off, this board should just pop right off, okay? And there's our 5 optos right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see they're labeled LED 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now there's also a spot here for a 6th LED, and actually a 7th LED, because this was a universal board that Williams used. And so some games would have 5 balls or 6 balls or maybe even 7 balls, and so they have enough LEDs on here for that. Now my game is only a 4-ball game, so they only have LED 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, it's LED 1 is the jam opto. Okay, and then LED 2, 3, 4, and 5 is actually 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the balls. So we're going to replace this one right here, okay? And this one, I believe, is the emitter. So you can see one is kind of clear and one is dark. Now, one's a receiver, one's an emitter. I have to admit, I'm not really sure which is which. And there is a positive and a negative on here because you can see the longer leg is typically the positive. So I got to make sure I put this on right. Boy, that's interesting. Okay, so I need to figure out which is which leg is which here. Oh, I see, okay. There is a flat side. Is that what I'm seeing here? Okay, so if you look at the diagram, the flat side goes up. Okay, I got it. Okay, yep. All right, so on here, there's a flat side right here. And if you look at the board on the artwork, you can see that there's a flat side screened on here. So that's how you know which way to put it on. Okay. Yeah, okay, yep, it's very clear. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead now and desolder off this LED. And again, make sure we're doing the right one. This is the jam one. And I'm gonna come in here with my soldering iron, and I'm gonna add some solder to this first, and then we're gonna desolder it. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm using my Weller WTC PT. Okay, and here's our jam right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and add some solder first, because it just trust me on this. When you add solder, when you add fresh solder to old solder, it makes the old solder just come off that much easier. And I'm using my solder pullet here to get this off. Let me make sure this is actually in the frame. Okay. Just kind of come in here. Damn it, you know, I actually have a vise to hold these boards. This little board is squirreling around here on the desk. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we got the old one off right there. Okay. Zoom out some more here. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I'm just going to take my solder pullet and okay, so that's basically it. We've got it off. And so again, let's use the clear one here. I'm pretty sure the clear is the emitter. And we got the flat side. We need to observe that because there is polarity on these. So let's see, the flat side is right here. Okay, so I got the flat side of the LED matching the artwork on the board. See the flat side there in that little circle? And we're going to slide it in. And let's just solder it down.
On your mark.
So I'm heating up, I'm touching the leg and the solder pad at the same time, and I'm coming on the other side with some solder. Doesn't take much, waiting for it to suck down and just come up. And we gotta make sure we don't bridge the two connections. Okay, I grabbed my side cutters, and so we want to cut this, these leads off. You don't want to cut the solder. You want to cut just above the solder. And I'm just kind of inspecting my work too. So I'm going to come in here with my side cutters. And there's one, there's two. Okay, so now while I've got the board out though, I might as well go ahead and reflow all the solder on here. So I'm going to reflow all these headers right here. And just all the LED legs too on each one of them. I might as well, since I got the board out. So let's kind of come in here, and I'm just going to hit every single one of these legs on this header. Just because, you know, this solder is like 15 years old. I mean, this pin came out, what, 2099? And this is just kind of some preventative maintenance. And you just want to be, so all I'm doing is I'm heating up the old solder, and I'm just adding a little tiny bit of new solder. And I'm trying to be very careful that I don't bridge the two pins that are adjacent to each other with solder. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do these guys.
On your mark. Get set.
Okay. Alright, so we have our new opto on, and we've reflowed all the solder. And so this side is done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. And I gotta make sure we do this the right way. So it goes on here like so. Really not hard. I mean, the hardest part here is getting that trough off, which isn't hard at all either. Now, I sure hope this fixes our problem. I mean, I certainly have taken an educated guess that it is a bad opto. I mean, what else could it be? There's nothing else on this board. You know, it's either going to be a cold solder joint or the opto itself. So let's go ahead and take the other side off. A little crusty. Okay, so here's our other board. You can see these ones have the kind of dark looking optos. And a lot of times too, you can clean these optos. And I want to tell you, I did do that. I reached into the game with a Q-tip and some Windex, and I cleaned all these optos before I did any of this, and it didn't fix it. So cleaning them did nothing. Okay, so the one we're concerned about is this guy right here, which is the jam. And again, we're gonna just add some solder and then desolder.
On your mark. Get set.
Boy, this part really wants to move around. You know, I have one of those PCB vices, which I probably should be pulling out right now. That'll hold this PCB in place. And it's really good for small boards like this. Okay. So I'm going to come in here and just kind of heat this up. Pop this guy out. There we go. Okay, so we got that out. Make sure it's clean. Okay, so I'm going to just add some more solder here and clean this out really good. Okay. Alright, that's nice and clean. So let's get our new opto. Okay, now this is interesting. This one has...
Get set.
So the drawing on this side is a little different here. The flat side is actually part of the drawing. Yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at the drawing here on these. And yeah, the flat side is all facing up on these. And so you can see the flat, there's a little line right here. See that? And that's the flat side. And so the flat side is on the shorter leg. And the longer leg is marked there with that little dimple. Okay, so let's go ahead and solder this one in. So I'm just putting my soldering iron on the leg and the pad, coming in with solder on the other side, just a little bit, and then heat it up and go up. Okay, so we've got that all soldered. So let's go ahead and trim our legs. And again, I'm going to cut above the solder joint. Okay, so we've got our new opto in. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reflow all the hot solder on these again. I'm going to reflow all these headers and then also all the other diodes. I'm just coming in, I'm heating up every pin, and I'm just adding fresh new solder. Not a ton, just a little bit, just to freshen up all these joints. And again, this is just kind of preventative maintenance, and you'll actually fix a lot of stuff by reflowing headers. Okay, that looks good. And let's go ahead and reflow these other diodes. Yeah, these are the ones I already reflowed, I could tell. Because I actually reflowed them while they were in the game. And we'll just do them again. Okay. Alright, so everything's reflowed. We're not ready to put this back on. Just kind of visually double check my work. And it looks good. Okay. So this guy's going to go right here. My only concern right now is that the parts my buddy Brian gave me are right. I'm like, are you sure these are the right ones? Oh yeah, they're all the same, right? I sure hope so. We're gonna find out real quick. All right, so we've got it all back together. Anything else we should do here? A lot of times this thing will get worn out and it doesn't actually look too bad. This will cause issue with balls not reading if this groove in here gets worn. This is actually in pretty good shape. So I'm just going to wipe this down a little bit, and then let's go put this back in the game. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead now and put the trough on. I'm going to put it on exactly as we took it off. I'm going to use my photographs to kind of show me where to plug the wires back in. But really, it's just putting it back on, putting the screws back on, and that's it. So let's go ahead and put this back on.
I don't believe we don't belong. No one can see what we've got. I don't believe we don't belong. No one can see what we've got. When I wake up in the morning and you're not right next to me, I feel incomplete. 'Cause I don't believe we don't belong. No one can see what we've got. 'Cause you don't know what I want. You don't know what I need. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I want. You don't know what I need. You don't know anything about me.
Alright guys, we got it all back on, and I did go ahead and replace those screws that were missing. That was really weird, but I found two of the screws on the bottom of the cabinet, and I did not find the third missing one, so I just put a similar screw, not exactly the same, but the thread and the length was pretty much spot on. So, all right, let's finish putting the apron on. And we're done, man. Was that bad? I hope this works. Because that is a big unknown. All right. Okay. So we've got the playfield back down, and I've got 2 screws left to do. I'm getting all tangled in this microphone cord. Yes, I need a wireless microphone. We're close, guys. I need about 200 more bucks worth of support donations, then I'll get it. All right, so let's see here. Okay. One more screw and that's it. So you guys like this pinball type stuff? What do you think? I mean, this isn't very hard what we're doing, but it is pinball tech. I mean, I sure hope I fix this. I probably shouldn't be putting this back together until I know it's working, but whatever. All right, so I'm going to take the balls here. Let's drop them in. I'm going to go ahead and turn the game on. There's a switch underneath.
You control the actions of a daring adventure.
And let's see what happens. Now, right now the game's booting. Because it is a Pinball 2000, there's a computer in here. Now, I have the glass off, so we're not going to be able to see anything on the screen. But normally, after it boots, it ejects all of the balls. And if it doesn't do that right now, we know we fixed it. And we'll put it into a switch test, too. So it's booting up, and I fixed it. Look at that. No balls are ejecting. Oh, actually, the high power's off. I gotta shut this. Come on. Shut up. We didn't fix it at all. Let me put it in switch test. All right, it's on switch test. Let me eject the balls out of here. One, two, three. Okay. All right, where's my screwdriver here? Let me see if I can grab. That's trough. Oh, fuck. We didn't fix it. I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, I don't know if we fixed it or not. I can't really tell here what's going on. Hang on a second.
On your mark.
All right, guys, here's the deal. I didn't fix it. It's not fixed. Actually, it's worse. I put it in test mode, and it says that switch 1 and the jam switch are both not recognized. Now it says I have like 2 optos out. So I don't know what's up with that. Now, but the game plays perfect. Mostly because these games kind of adapt to switch errors, okay? Now, I'm not getting a switch error in this game, and the game is playing correctly, but again, the game's intelligent, okay? Even though there's 4 optos down there, 1 for each ball, if it knows that opto 2 is reading, Therefore, it deduces that there's a ball in the 1 slot, you understand? So the game's working, but it's not right. So what I'm gonna do is this. We're gonna end this video, and I'm gonna order new optos across the board. I'm gonna go in my Revenge from Mars manual, okay? And I'm gonna look up the exact part number, and I'm gonna order that opto, okay? And we're gonna come back and do a part number 2. I know, I'm sorry, but you know what? This is the reality of arcade collecting in the basement and working on games in the basement. This is just what happens, you know? And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't, and this time I didn't, and I'm pretty certain that we have bad optos. I'm deducing this. Now, you could take your camera, and I tried this. If you take your camera and you look through the camera on the phone at the optos, you can see the beam of light. And I wasn't able to get my camera in there in the right spot, my phone. It's too tight. And I'm not confident that the optos that my buddy Brian gave me are the right part, because the part number in the RFM manual is different than the WPC opto parts. So I think we're gonna stop here. I'm sorry, we didn't fix it, but we're gonna stop. I'm gonna order the optos per the manual, probably from Marco's Specialty or Pinball Life. They're cheap parts, they're $1 a piece, you know, and I'll order all 8 of them, or actually 10 of them, and I'll replace all of them. We'll do that in a part 2, and we'll see if we fix it, because it's kind of annoying, and I'm sorry, but you know, this just happens. I'm just a guy in my basement, you know. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't, and we didn't fix it this time, but I think this is all part of the learning experience, isn't it? You know, it's kind of trial and error, and that's how I fix a lot of stuff, to be honest. You know, I'm not an engineer, you know, so hopefully you guys don't mind that we didn't fix it. So, anyway, I want to do some, we'll do part 2, trust me. We're going to come back to it, I'll order the parts, and we'll fix it right. Alright, so we're going to, but I did show you guys, like, you know, how to take it apart, how to change the optos, in theory, you know, whatever. Alright, so I'm going to do some viewer mail. I printed up a few. Actually, I got a box of goodies here this is from German Game Room in Germany. And he sent this before Christmas. He intended for it to get here before Christmas, and it didn't. It arrived like a week ago. And he sent me a little note with, you know, kind of telling me what everything is in this box. And by the way, thank you very much. His name is Thomas Belmont, aka German Game Room. He comments all the time on the YouTube channel. So thank you, buddy, for this box of fun. And it's full of European goodness. And I love this kind of stuff, because there's so much stuff in here that I just can't get here. And so he sent me this. All right, look at this. And he explains what everything is. Because I looked at this, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? There's a coin, there's a button here. It says 100 yen, insert coin. And he explains it. Let me read his letter. Hey, John, I've been following your channel for more than a year now, and I even have been watching your older restores as well. I love the style of your videos, just pointing a camera at what you're doing and giving us the feeling of like being with you and helping you restore this stuff and figuring everything out. This kind of sounds creepy the way I described it, LOL. As said in my email, this is just a little thank you package for the work you put in your videos. You would probably get done twice as much in the same amount of time if you would do the restores on your own, but you are filming everything and the editing later on must be a pain as well. It is. So thank you. Have fun with the package and try eating the candy and figuring out what it is before reading any further. Explanations for everything in this package. Okay, so this right here is a Sanwa 24mm start button. This is the original arcade push button used in most Japanese candy cabs as the start button. He also included a 100 yen coin. Original Japanese 100 yen coin, which I'm using to coin up my arcade cabs, the ones that don't have a free... Okay, that's pretty cool. That is actually very cool, to put your... I actually love that idea. Put my games on coin play, but use 100 yen Japanese coins. That's pretty cool. So this is an original Sanwa Japanese style button that will be used on a candy cab, and then a 100 yen coin. How cool is that? Thank you, Tomas. Okay, so let's keep going here. He tells me I shouldn't read all this stuff. So, all right, so we got this here. This is some kind of soda candy or something. I don't know what's going on here. It's all Brauspulver. It says, ahoy, brass pulver frigio, himber, orange, and Waldmeister. Okay, so it looks like orange soda. This looks like powder. Wow. All right, that's cool. Thank you. Let me see if he says what it is. Haribo. What is this? So, all right, and then here we have Center Shock Solar Kagumi mit Fulong. So, this looks like some kind of super sour candy. All right, we'll have to try some of this stuff. All right, and this here is Nabel S. Papier. Das grobe Hubelams Gwen Isrpel Mach schnell dumm Kaff. Sprechen die Deutsch. All right, so this is paper. S paper. This is basically paper that you can eat. It's candy for kids. It's hard to eat. All right, let's try. We're gonna try some of this. Nabel S. Papier. All right. Hopefully he didn't poison me. Oh wow. You know what it tastes like? Dude, this tastes like communion hosts. You know, this tastes just like what I get in communion when I go to church from the priest. It's pretty tasty. This is not fitting into my low carb diet, but I like it. Amen. Hey, that's a good time, man. I could get used to eating paper. I like that. All right, Thomas, thanks. Is it Thomas? T-O-M-E-S. I think it's Thomas, right? That's pretty good. That's not hard to eat at all. All right, we got some Naomi stickers. Sega, which is a arcade system, you know, like Crazy Taxi and all that. Some Cave stickers. Cave, great developer, makes a lot of shooters. Cave. All right, this is cool. This is a piece of the Berlin Wall. And it says on the back, Certificate Original Berliner Mauerstein, August 13th, 1961 to November 9th, 1989. How cool is that? I love that, actually. And it's got like graffiti on it and stuff. All right, that's awesome. That's gonna go on the desk. We've got some Haribo, some gummy bears, the original since 1922. We can get these here. Believe me, these are great though. These are the gummy bears. I mean, if you're gonna have gummy bears, these are the ones to get. All right, we'll have a couple. Oh yeah, that's good. Here's a pad of Donkey Kong paper. It says, "Good luck on beating 274,000 points, John Jumpman Jacobson." And then this thing, that is awesome. Look at this little Mario figure. And it says here that the Mario figure was, little is known about these, but people are saying you got these by buying Mars chocolate bars in 1994, only in Germany. Dude, I freaking love that Mario. Look at that. That is going on the desk. So Thomas, really, dude, and he says, P.S. Rockstar Energy is awesome. And he also sent in a can of soda. It was Fanta, orange Fanta. But you know what? It leaked, dude. It leaked in the box. And unfortunately, I had to throw it out. It leaked in the box. So Thomas, thank you, man. I really appreciate all this. This is fun stuff, man. I love this kind of stuff that we can't get here, especially the candy. I love this little pad, too. I'm definitely going to be using that. So thank you so much from Germany to Germany. I love all this stuff. This stuff's going on the desk, and the candy will be eaten by the family, I assure you. All right, so there you go. Thomas, thank you. And I got a few viewer mails I thought we could do. By the way, if you guys like the viewer mail segment and you want to send them to blkdog7@gmail.com. That's blkdog7@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put viewer mail. If you don't, I don't think I'll find it. All right, first one's from Nathan. Hey, John, I've been a subscriber since 2012. If I ever get into the arcade collecting hobby, your videos will be my guide on how to restore them. A personal favorite was seeing how disgusting that Domino Man cabinet was. Well, that was actually in photograph form, wasn't it? I don't remember. My question for you is this. Would you consider playing your old Hoot Owl theme for certain videos? Videos that are calmer, playing games in your basement, restores, etc. Nathan. Nathan Tatum. Well, you know, when I first started doing these videos, I had that little whoo-hoo, that little owl sound. That was just like a stock sound I found. I don't even know why I chose that, because all my early videos have that, and I just grabbed anything that I thought would be kind of memorable, you know, not necessarily that had to do with arcade collecting or anything, and so I used that stupid owl hooting sound as my theme song for the first couple years here, and I don't think I'd go back to it, though. I feel like I'm doing much better now, but maybe we'll do a retro show, and we could bring the Hoot Owl back. I've had a lot of people ask me about the Hoot Owl lately, wanting me to bring the owl back. I guess people kind of like it. All right, this one's for Amy Brown. I actually get this question a lot, and it's become my most requested video now. And I'm gonna have to do something about this. Hey John, I was wondering why not go to TNT Amusements and see if they have a baby Pac-Man. So I have had countless people tell me that they want me to go to TNT Amusements and visit, God, what the hell is his name? Wow, why can't I think of his name? Wow, that is, I'm having a brain fart right here. The guy that owns TNT Amusements, wow, I am drawing an absolute blank. But everybody wants me to go down there and visit him. Todd Tuckey, sorry. They think that I should go do a video at TNT Amusements. Maybe we'll try to do that this year. I could do that. That's not that long of a drive. I mean, it's Philadelphia area. It would be a big trip. But maybe I can figure out a reason to go down there. Maybe we could pick up a game or something. So I would like to do that. If Todd will have me, if Todd Tuckey will have me, I will go down there this year. So everyone's been asking me to do that, though. That's come up a lot. Let's see. Let's do one more. Let's see. Okay, this one's from Michael Bernard. John, I never miss your videos when they come out. I love your Donkey Kong high score attempt videos. I was just wondering, how do you reset the save scores on your games? P.S. Keep up the amazing work on all your outstanding videos. You know, every game's a little different. Every game uses a different way of saving scores. Some have batteries, some have battery-backed RAM. So they're all a little different. You know, like the modern ones with the Brazington high score kits, you can get into a menu and clear them from there. Usually it's either a button combination or when the game turns on, or a dip switch setting that'll get you into a service menu and you can clear the high scores. A bunch of games do it that way, even the old ones. Some games have batteries, like rechargeable rechargeable phone batteries or little lithium batteries. On those games, typically I would disconnect the battery and it would clear the high scores out. On track and field, I know there's a dip switch setting to clear the high scores. On my Donkey Kongs, you could go in the menu system. So every game's a little different. For the most part, it's either a menu system, a dip switch setting, or remove the battery. It's usually one of those three. And yeah, I know we're gonna do some more of the Donkey Kong high score things. Like I said before, I'm worried that I'm worried that I'm gonna do too many of them and it's gonna get a little boring. You guys are gonna see, oh, a Donkey Kong video. Oh, I don't wanna see that again. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? All right, one more. Robbie Hart says, hey, John, I have a question. How do you fix a pachinko machine? Because I bought it for $35 at a secondhand store. Can you answer the question, please, John? P.S. I'm one of your biggest fans. You are a big inspiration to all of us. Ian and Houston. Wow, pachinko machines. You know, when I was a kid, my grandpa had one of those, and it was just, it's a cool thing. It's like an upright pinball machine, mechanical typically, the old ones, no electronics, and you just shoot the balls up and they go up and they come down on these pins and you have to get them into the different spots. And I think it's a Chinese thing. I think it's an Asian thing. I know my grandpa had one on his wall. And the old ones typically don't use any kind of electricity, so it's more mechanical. You're gonna have to kind of get in there and figure out what's right or wrong with it. Now the later ones, I think Pachislo, or I don't know if Pachinko or Pachislo is something different there. I know there's newer ones that are much more electronic with LCD displays. I don't know if that's the kind you have, or do you have one of the really old school ones? You know, Robbie, I have to tell you the truth, I've never worked on one of those. I've thought about getting one just because I had one when I was a kid, but I would say Google's gonna be your best friend. And if it is only mechanical, I think you just gotta turn it around, look at the back, and just kind of figure out what's not working and why, because it is very mechanical. So those things are pretty cool, though. You want to read another one? What do you think? Viewer mail, not the real Bobcat UK from Gary Perrin. Have you considered playing 80s music at your parties or Police Academy movies on your TV? LOL. I love the vids, John, on the podcast. Ben Heck is with us. Bobcat Goldthwait is next. Then World Domination. Keep up the great work. It is loved by the many. Gaz Perrin, not Greg, as mentioned our Chaos Outsider. So at my parties, I do play 80s music, actually a lot, and I usually use like Spotify or Pandora. And normally what I do is I search for usually Journey, like on Pandora, and I'll use that as a to generate a playlist from Journey. That seems to be a good bet. Or Guns N' Roses sometimes will get you some more rockin' stuff. So yeah, I always play 80s music. I like all of it. I like the rock stuff. I like the the Depeche Mode and Flock of Seagulls and the techno stuff, and also the Journey type stuff. So I definitely do that. Ben Heck, actually, he called here tonight. I'm supposed to be talking to Ben Heck, and I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm trying to think. Sean, one of the viewers, Sean, is trying to hook me up with Ben. Sean is friends with Ben Heck, and he wants me to hook up with Ben Heck, and I don't know what I'm actually a big fan of Ben Heck. He's probably one of the only guys on YouTube I religiously watch, besides Arcade Impossible and Joe Senegaglia. But, Ben Heck is truly my favorite YouTube channel, and I watch all of his episodes, and I would love to do something with Ben, because I think what he's doing is great. And so, Gary, we might be doing something there. He called here tonight, and I was doing the video, and so I'm going to call him back, and we'll see what happens. I think it'd be fun, right? Because Ben's a cool dude. All right, one more here. From Thomas Ganji. It says, "Hi, John. I live in Australia, and I'm 16, and I'm going to be getting an arcade machine, but even a 16-in-1 JAMA cabinet goes for at least $500, and a dedicated cabinet is $1250. So is there any advice on a cabinet worth the money? P.S. Remember, stuff is 50% more expensive in Australia." Thomas Ganji. Thomas, I don't know what to tell you, man. Okay, first of all, the 60-in-1 PCBs are available on the internet, and they're not expensive. I think that those boards are a great starting point, okay? Because you can buy those boards for $50 to $75. They're inexpensive JAMA PCBs, okay? And I don't know if you have, they're even on Amazon, and you can buy them from China. Just Google JAMA board sells them, and I'm sure they ship internationally. So buy that board for $50, okay? And now you need a cabinet, okay? And the 60-in-1 is a vertical board, so it's designed for vertical games, okay? Like Galaga, Pac-Man, Burger Time, and all that. So can you find yourself a cheap, converted, garbage JAMA cabinet? They gotta be out there. Maybe you could find one for a couple $100. I don't know. You're probably, at the end of the day, you probably will end up spending, $400 to $500 to put it all together and make it right. So maybe if you see one for $500 that's really nice, really special, maybe it's okay to spend that much money in Australia. I don't know. I wouldn't do it personally. But, finding a vertical JAMA cabinet is possible in the States for a couple $100 or $100, and then putting one of the multi-boards in there. I don't know what's possible in Australia, but I would recommend trying to do it yourself. I think that you're going to save money that way. Instead of paying someone that already made it, maybe try to do it yourself. Buy the board, buy the controls, buy the buttons, stuff like that. But you got to get your hands dirty. I mean, that's the only way to save money in this hobby. I mean, honestly. So, anyway, guys, I hope I answered your question there. That's going to do it for this video. I know it was a little anticlimactic, but you know what? It's Sunday at 7 here. What else am I going to do? I like sharing the kind of stuff like this with you guys, too. Because, this hobby isn't... you don't hit a home run every time. Sometimes things don't just go the way you want them to, and that happened in this video. So whatever. We'll do part 2. Don't worry, I'll fix it. So what? I didn't fix it this Sunday. We'll fix it some other Sunday. I will fix it, I promise you. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you've never subscribed, go ahead and click subscribe. By the way, I want to mention again, I am going to be in Denver this weekend, Saturday at 3 p.m. at the 1UP. That's January 17th at 1UP in Denver, downtown Denver. It's the Lodo location, lower downtown, and it's an awesome barcade. I will be there. If you guys are in the Denver area and you can meet me out there, show up. So anyway, that's it for the video. Subscribe, tell your friends, check out my 2 podcasts. One's called Video Game Outsiders at videogameoutsiders.com. The other is Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. We do those both live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on allgames.com, or find them on iTunes or Dogcatcher or Stitcher. Search for Video Game Outsiders or Arcade Outsiders. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys very soon. Later and bye.